This episode of the Moms Network is brought to you in part by DuPage Medical Group. We care for you.
Welcome back to the Moms Network. This segment, we are discussing emotional health and all that means for you and your family. Patty, Sarita, Grace, and I welcome back Dr. Alicia Martin from DuPage Medical Group. For many years, emotional health seemed to be a topic that people were very quiet about, but I definitely see a change in people's perception in the past few years. Moms, is this something you notice as well?
I do. I notice people are more amped to want to bring it up because we all know we struggle, right? And it takes a village to help each other out.
Yeah.
So I'm finding, especially around the holidays, there's a lot of funny memes, and people are just a little bit more lighthearted about the fact that moms try to do it all very quickly in a very tight window, and it's just not possible. You know, we try to take on what 4 people should be doing. And so now that it's become more normal to just say, let some stuff go. Your mental health is not worth it. It has been a really big theme.
Yes. Sarita, you were talking about having margins. What does that mean?
So, you know, one of the things I've learned over time is that I put too much on my plate, and then the stress and anxiety that comes with it. So what I started doing this past year is building a lot of margins in your schedule, giving you some downtime if something overruns. And I think for that, my sanity is well preserved, and I think my family is much happier too. So the expectations of how many things realistically you can get done. And we live in a digital age, 24/7. We feel, you know, you got to maximize in every minute you're awake.
Yep. And then you're just like, okay, what do I have to do next?
Right.
I know in my practice schedule, if it just gets too booked up or I have a couple of new patients in the same shift, we'll just build in a 15 to 30 minute window. Now that always gets eaten up.
Right.
But we're proactive to say, hey, I just need a breather. And sometimes I actually get a breather and like can go to the bathroom and take a sip of water. And sometimes it's like, oh, thank God that was there because that, you know, one patient went over, there was an emergency that happened, or, you know, someone, you know, came in and couldn't walk. And it just took longer period of time for the patient visit. Do you see a lot of people coming in under a lot of stress during this time?
For sure, and I think stress becomes big because we're all, exactly what you said, we've overbooked. It's okay to say no. It's okay to say, I can't commit to that, or, you know what, I am going to bring that tray from Jewel, and that is okay. I do not have to make it. It doesn't have to be the Instagram-worthy cake here. So we do have to say, how do we set some margins, set some boundaries there, as we were talking about. But then also, it's such a stressful time, and we have so much going on, but we also have more grief during the holidays. I think we kind of look back at some of the other losses and what we have, and so I think we have to say, you know what, it's okay to feel that way too during that time, because we have, as we said, it is a tough roller coaster time too, not just from scheduling, but from remembering times from the past. So
that's so true.
Yeah, it's a good point.
It's like every emotion you have gets condensed into like the 6-week holiday period.
Yes.
And all of that emotional stress, I mean, it affects us physically. And I think, because you had mentioned, Grace, about that people are now they're talking about emotional health more than we have before. Do you find that with your patient, like when they come to see you, it's not just to talk about their physical, but they are talking about their emotional?
And many times by the time they've actually reached me, it's kind of hit a kind of a boiling point here. So it's very important to reach out earlier if we need help. And maybe that's even just reaching out to your girlfriends or other coworkers to say, you know what, hey, can you help me out here? But yes, seeing your provider to say, all right, what can we come up with a plan together? How do we handle our stress? Do we need to work with a therapist, work with a psychologist? Do we even need to talk about medicine? Sometimes we get to the point where it kind of tips over, and especially being winter, we do see that getting even worse here. Chicago, sun setting at 4:30, and so you're going to work, it's dark, you're coming home, it's dark. And so we, from a seasonal, we get that kind of triple whammy on top of this here.
Right.
So how do we kind of come up with a plan, and reaching out for help is very important for everyone, and especially even At this time, we even have in our community, Linden Oaks has a wonderful program that they have a 24-hour hotline. So if somebody ever needs help and it's 3 in the morning and you feel I can't call someone, there's always someone available there. They even take walk-ins. So if we're really in trouble, we're worried about suicide and worried about getting that need, and we got to get that in that minute. So Linden Oaks is that, or your primary. I'm on call. One of us is on call always. So there's somebody that you can reach out to and talk to at all times of the day.
I feel it's important, and not everyone is willing to be as open as I am on social media and things like this, but I had an appointment with my therapist, and I've seen her for probably 5 years. I used to go once a week for a period of time, and now I call her when I'm a little overwhelmed or I'm not really sure how to address something. And I came out of a session and she just did a mindset shift, just a paradigm shift of something I was looking at. She said one sentence and it all opened up, and I left and I got in my car before I started driving, and I just to be clear, and I just said, oh my goodness, I'm so thankful for my therapist. She just helped me so much. And I had 3 or 4 people reach out to me and say, thank you so much for saying that. Because a lot of people are just not willing to say, I see a therapist. Well, for me, it's been life-changing. And so I think opening up that conversation, or if you buy the thing from Jewel, take a picture, be like, from Jewel, no apologies, looking forward to celebrating, and just kind of taking that perfection off of social media, which perpetuates this thing that everyone's got it all together, right? And they're all making 4-level appetizers with, chocolate fountains on top of it or something. So
those are their own personal filters that they're creating because they're afraid to expose. And for me, ever since I started teaching yoga, my whole thing was you have to take care of yourself in order to take care of anybody else. Because if I take care of me, whether that's me working out, getting more sleep, meditating, having date nights more often, whatever it is that I seek, that I need to fill, then I can fill up everyone else's cup that much better.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's so important to remember during the holidays, because again, as moms, we want to do everything and put it all on us, and really we have to remember we still need to be exercising if that's what gives us joy. We still need to take that time to just read a book for a while or do something that's for us, so we can be there for everyone else.
Right.
And be there for each other in that situation.
Support each
Therapy
other.
is a wonderful thing, and the fact that up until recent, no one really wanted to talk about it is sad, because you could be helping somebody else just like you did, normalizing that situation, normalizing that help is available.
And I think all of us at some point are going to have stress, and building those coping mechanism, whatever it is for you, if you need to see a therapist or sleep or whatever it is, realizing that we're all human and we're going to, and especially as women, I think we internalize stress a lot, because I see my husband and his perspective. If there's anything we need to learn from men, they don't internalize and stress. So as much as we hate them for it, there's something to be said about learning from them.
Well, and our kids don't care. And I think I've said this before. I have the older kids, and so my kids being 2 of them are adults. And all that stuff that you're doing for Christmas, the cupcakes that you think you have to make them, they do. That is not what they're going to remember, and those are not. So we're doing that ourselves. That's not the rest
self-imposed.
It is self-imposed, and we need to stop. You need to take a picture of the Jewel cupcake and say, "This is what I'm bringing," and I think that's fantastic.
Well, it's also what you said, Dr. Martin, about saying no. We've talked about that on the show multiple times, and it is just another reminder that we can't be everything to all people. We can't be at every event. And my rule is, when I get an invitation to something, unless I go, oh my gosh, I can't wait to go to that, I say, I'm unable to come, or, I'm so sorry, I'm unable to do that. And I've tried not to give 4 paragraphs of explanation anymore. I used to explain it away, I'm so sorry, I have this and this and this, trying to prove that it was really worthy of me saying no. And now I'm so sorry, I'm unavailable at that date. I wish you the best. Could I send a Facebook post out for you for the branch, right? I try to offer something to be helpful or something, but it's always a balancing act.
And I think as parents, as being a mom to teenagers, I feel like our kids are watching us. How are we managing our schedules and stress? So I think it's important to set a good example for our kids too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Shining a light on emotional health for ourselves or our families is the first step to the solutions that can help. Thank you, Dr. Martin, for joining us for this very important conversation. Thanks again for watching the Moms Network. And remember, you are always invited. Thank you.
This episode of the Moms Network is brought to you in part by DuPage Medical Group. We care for you.